When I was 9 years old, for one day, I was the most powerful person on my playground. The game was King of the Hill. Simple rules: get to the top, stay there all of recess. The bell rings, we shoot right outside of class. We're sprinting. I don't know if you've ever seen children in their most feral form, but they're savages. We get to the front of the hill, right? We're no longer friends. We start climbing, we're grabbing, we're clawing, we're gnawing. Kids are taking each other's shoes and throwing them down the hill, doing whatever they can to win. I watched two friends become allies to get to the top, only for one to betray the other with a small push. His friend is falling and he's like, "I trusted you." I'm so close to the top, I can't stop. I'm right there. I take my foot and I put it on my classmate's face for leverage. Don't judge me, I was 9 years old, come on. And when he is falling, all I can think of is, yes, I'm king of the hill. I'm expecting this wave of euphoria, right? That I can bask in for like the rest of my life, maybe put it on a resume. And instead I feel miserable. I feel lonely. I actually feel this wave of paranoia because I'm so worried of thinking about who's going to try to dethrone me. I live in America. And if you've been paying any attention, it's not going well. Our country feels more divided than any time in modern history. And I feel as if we're barreling down a path that I don't know if we're ever going to recover from. And when I think about how we got here, I think of King of the Hill. What divides us is hierarchy. If you think of any argument in this society today, it basically boils down to, I'm better than you, or I'm scared that you're better than me. My opinions are more important than yours. My values are correct and yours are wrong. The party that I voted for is smart. The party that you voted for is stupid. We measure our self-worth by where we can find ourselves on the hill. In America, we're told that for me to win, someone else has to lose. I learned this in school. I learned this in Monopoly. I learned this watching WWF wrestling. Whenever I would play a sport, the first question always asked me at the end of the game was, "Did you win? Did you win?" We measure ourselves by such arbitrary metrics. How much money do you make? How much can you lift? How hot or beautiful are you? Our obsession with our worth causes us to shame others, and then we hope that shame doesn't come back to us. We do this because we're scared. We're scared of what might happen if I fall down the hill. Will I be forgotten? Will I become irrelevant? If I fall too far down the hill, will I become broke or homeless or lose all my friends or family? And our biggest fear, maybe I'll be alone. But here's the irony. Our obsession with winning gets in the way of our connection. Let's say you were able to figure out this game, right? And you're able to get to the top of the hill. Congratulations, now you're superior to everybody else. How does that feel? Lonely, miserable. I mean, we see it happening right now in our real lives. I mean, have you seen billionaires? They've won capitalism. They've won it all. And they don't seem very happy about it. They're trying to always conquer another hill and another hill. Now I'm going to conquer politics. Now I'm going to conquer space. What else do you want to conquer? I'm thinking of conquering the galaxy. Yes. If it was enough, they would stop. But it's never enough. When you're the king of the hill, you realize you're never getting what you actually need. So what do? How about we remove the concept of king and we dismantle the hill? Then all of a sudden it's just a playground. And when you're at a playground, you're not obsessed with winning. No one ever goes up to you and it's like, did you win playground today? Did you win? If we want to dismantle hierarchy, we must be willing to step away from it. And how do we do that? We play for the sake of play. So every year for the past 4 years, I give up my name and who I am. I am no longer Jeff Harry, play at work expert. My name is Uche. I have no job, no career, no socials. I simply have my personal story and my wit. And I attend this camp. It's called Camp Reset. It's a digital detox summer camp for grown-ups. It only has 3 rules. No work talk, no real names, no phones. The way they dismantle hierarchy is they remove the anchors that typically define who we are. How do I measure my value if it's not connected to my work or my productivity? What do I do if I'm lonely or need that dopamine hit and I can't grab my phone? How do I define who I am if I can't use my real name? For several days, we are challenged to connect with each other without our usual armor. Play and rest are the priority. Basically, anything that doesn't contribute to late-stage capitalism. We build community by playing recess games and dancing. The concept is simple. We give each other permission to be kids again. We choose community over comparison, and we just play. And in this day and age, that feels kind of revolutionary. But you don't need to come to Camp Reset to actually benefit from this. Here's my challenge to you. What if you just didn't center work when you hung out with your friends and family? What if you took an hour where you were like, hey, no work chat, and this is how we're going to connect? What if when you're having a conversation with someone, you're feeling a little insecure, you ask yourself, am I choosing community right now? Am I choosing comparison? When we do this, we reduce or remove hierarchy in our social life. So that's all well and good, but you can't dismantle hierarchy everywhere. You can't do that in sports. Why not? Why do we have to be obsessed with winning or losing? I'm part of the left-wing football club in Oakland, California. Started in 2003. It has chapters all over the country. We only have one rule when we play. The score is always 2-2. No matter how many goals we've scored, no matter where we are in the game, 2-2. When you are not obsessed with winning, you're able to dismantle the hierarchy. And then you can enjoy other aspects of the game and be reminded why you love the game. We create an atmosphere where anyone of all skill levels and all ages can play. We center people that have been typically marginalized or left out of traditional sports spaces, and we make sure they feel welcome. And we ensure that when we play, everyone gets a touch on the ball. We once had a player who had been playing competitive soccer for a while, and then he got injured. And when he was trying to heal and come back, he would join regular pickup soccer games. And no one would pass him the ball because they found him to be weak and he couldn't help them win. And then he comes to the left wing and we welcome him with open arms because the score is always 2-2. And no one should be turned away from play. If we want to break down hierarchy, we must let go of winning. This is an intentional effort and very difficult to do. But this is how we actually change systems. Now you might be like, all right, that sounds amazing and lovely, but also sounds very idealistic and unrealistic. But history has actually shown us that this can happen in the most hierarchical circumstances possible. Christmas Eve, 1914, on the Western Front. Soldiers have been away from their families for months. They are exhausted. They don't even know why they're there. On Christmas Eve, there's this artillery barrage that's just nonstop. And then all of a sudden, it stops. It just happens. No order was given. And then it's just dead silent for hours. And then there's this faint voice you can actually hear from the German side. Stille Nacht, Heiliger Nacht. An Englishman's like, he's singing Silent Night. And he joins in. A Scottish soldier's like, I'm going to play the bagpipes. Let's go. That brave German soldier climbs up out of his trench and walks into no man's land to meet that Englishman. They are meeting on the field where their comrades had died. Eventually, other soldiers come to greet each other. And they start exchanging cigarettes and chocolates, start singing carols. A Scottish soldier comes on the field and actually kicks a soccer ball in the middle of no man's land. And a game begins on the same pitch where they were just trying to kill one another. It's known as the Christmas Truce of 1914. And it happened all along the Western Front. In some places, they were actually just hours away from here. That's why it came. Games sprang up all along the front. But there were some soldiers that when they stepped out onto no man's land, they got shot. Their desire for connection through play was so strong, they were willing to risk their lives for just one moment of shared joy. The next day, they were ordered to kill each other. And many of them were like, I can't pull the trigger. So they were pulled off the line. If play can stop a group of young, indoctrinated men from killing each other, if play can stop a world war for a day, what else is possible? When we play, patriarchy and hierarchy melt away. We don't see each other as adversaries. We see each other as human beings. No kings, no hills, just people. Not better or worse, but the same. This is how we build connection and community. This is how we survive. This is how we actually win.